Thanks for that.
Takes quite a lot to talk about that as well, doesn't it? Fair play to him, the mental health side. I know it's becoming more and more prevalent, but still there's this stigma with burly rugby men saying, actually putting their hand up in the air and saying, it's not all bells and whistles. I'm struggling here. And it's a big thing to do, so it's a great campaign to get behind.
Well, I was really impressed with him for the first few games that I watched. I didn't know much about him before. And then after they beat Edinburgh with the last kick of the game, which it was his second week consecutively that he actually did that, Dan McFarlane come on and got interviewed at the end. And then I think offline, he actually said he's never worked with a guy that is more confident in taking a kick at goal. He's like, I ain't going to miss. And he said it's genuine as well with that confidence. But that confidence is worked on, like you just said there. When you took a kick, I think if I could kick, obviously I can't. If I could have kicked,
You volleyed people in the head.
yeah, so that was easy. You didn't have to think about it.
But a similar thing for you would be taking a high ball from a kickoff or something.
Yeah, I knew I was dropping it. I knew I was dropping it, no matter what. But so every single kick, and you've got to be in the zone. And so someone like that, or when you did it, or when Wilkinson, or when Farrell does it.
Are you comparing me with those two? Thanks, Jim.
I'm talking about the guys at the very top of the game. But surely your mind must wonder. Surely you must be thinking, what's happening tonight? Like, or if I miss this, I'm done. If I kick this, I'm an absolute legend. Like, did anything ever?
Well, first and foremost, I never put the ball on the tee and thought, what am I doing tonight? What am I having for dinner?
Never.
No.
You must have thought about what you're having for dinner.
Oh,
right?
it depends. Well, I probably did it, yeah, subconsciously. No, generally, you put the ball down on the tee, and sometimes I could put it on the tee and know that it wasn't going over. Generally, when you're in that horrible rut, you're like, no chance.
And it didn't go over.
So it's, as a kicker, and you talk about mental health and all this stuff, the thoughts that go on in your head, and Johnny Wilkinson's talked a lot about this, it's brutal. And the only way to get out of a bad rut is get on the training field, go to the home ground and just spend an hour, 2 hours just kicking and getting in a groove, which there's times of the season, every kicker goes through it, you're looking at the post going, no chance.
Yeah, but what I was saying about John, I know the mental health stuff isn't necessarily about him kicking at goal. That's not what we're saying. We've gone off on a tangent there, but I think
it's part of it as a kicker, because it's such an individual thing in the game,
and the pressure.
When everyone is just looking at you as a kicker,
and it's the pressure. I think as a player, you sometimes underestimate that, but I think it's great that high-profile players come out and start speaking about that. Me and Goody, I've spoken a little bit about it away from the podcast, haven't we? In terms of the guys and the girls that listen to the podcast and that might be struggling. Is there anything that we can do to talk about it and raise awareness? Because we are passionate, and we have a crack on here and we have a crack in life. But there are days when you wake up and you're like, I'm fucked today, or I'm not feeling great today. It's a very normal thing, and we've mentioned about trying to find some way, and influence something where it is comfortable to speak about them things. So
it's tough retiring from top level sport as well. When you've played that and you've got that, there's a vacuum when you don't have it, and people retire for different reasons. So someone retires early because of injury. They just know that's the end of their career. They can't play. Sometimes you retire because you're not good enough. Sometimes you retire because you, like Jim and I were, you're at the end of your tether. You're that old. Your body's knackered, and actually you can't do it anymore. But it's amazing how to fit back into what is normal life is it's really difficult. Yeah, a lot of players struggle with it. It's really hard. So players that are listening, and don't be too proud. Just get your hand up and say, I need some help. Speak to your best mate. Speak to anyone.
Yeah, me and Kelly Brown spoke about it. I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast. I can't remember whether we spoke about it last year or whatever, but we worked out this kind of analogy I did in my ridiculous mind, is that for me personally, at the end of my career, and I was obviously doing the podcast and we were joking a lot about it, but I'd had enough of playing. I'd had enough of playing. I'd had enough of training. I'd had enough of the banter at training. I'd had enough of the testosterone-fueled sessions, banter. I couldn't wait to get away. And I know Saracens use this Wolfpack mentality. I couldn't wait to get out of it. Not because I hated Saracens, but I just had enough. Like, I was having to raise my standards to train, raise my standards to bloody walk into the changing room. My body was that battered. And then I've gone away, lone wolf. See what I've done there? So I've gone away, lone wolf, into a new world where I'm on my own. So from being in a group with the guys, every single day of your life, banter, testosterone, ruggers, the lot, and I've gone away and just done my own thing completely, and I'm on my own. So I'm now on my own 80% of the day.
You've got kids, mate.
I don't see them. Whereas Kelly goes on to coach the academy. And the way that he said it is that the Wolfpack's still there, but he's picking up the cones. He's mopping up the slops from the outside. He can still see in. And I think that that's where he found it tougher initially in that instance, because you're part of something and then you're kind of out of it. And the next dogs are in there doing what they do.